On Wednesday, the 17th of August 2022, at the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry, Queen Mary University of London, the World Association for Sustainable Development, London, UK, and the Association of African Universities, Accra, Ghana, signed a Memorandum of Understanding on partnership and collaboration for research, teaching and capacity building. Both parties expressed interest in partnership and collaboration on the basis of reciprocity and mutual benefit. The purpose of the MOU is to establish a relationship for interaction between AAU and WASD to explore research in areas of mutual interest and establish a framework that will facilitate future interactions between them. The MOU brings together universities, colleges, research institutes, societies and individuals from across Africa in a global forum to collaborate and reconnect with the discourse of sustainable development via the various activities and initiatives by WASD. The MOU will therefore help universities and research institutions in Africa to play a critical role in enabling their countries to achieve the United Nations Agenda 2030 and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals. AAU and WASD are delighted to have been working very closely during the last period, and both are inspired by the conviction that the UN Agenda 2030 provides the momentum for a renewed WASD engagement with the different AAU's member universities in Africa. The MOU was signed by Professor Bokri Said, President of AAU, Professor Alam Ahmed, President of WASD, and Professor Farida Fortune, Director of QMUL FMD Center for Regenerative Medicine and Immunobiology. After concluding the signing of the MOU, Professor Bokri Said, Professor Alam Ahmed, and Professor Farida Fortune had a few words to say about this memorable event.
First, I would like to thank the Africans in London TV for giving me this opportunity to introduce myself and my organization, the Association of African Universities. I am Professor Bakri Osman Said, the President of the Association of the African Universities for the period 2021 to 2025. The Association of African Universities is the voice of higher education in Africa. It's an umbrella of hundreds of African universities, which is working primarily to promote higher education in Africa and the role it can play in helping its societies. The Association of African Universities started as a suggestion by UNESCO in 1963 to the then Organization of African Unity. And that was in 1962 actually. In 1963, a meeting of 35 vice-chancellors, African vice-chancellors, who were then only 46, met in Khartoum in Sudan, where they agreed to establish this association and drafted the first constitution.
I'm really excited about this partnership with African universities because I think at long last it provides an area of need where we can come in and help supplement the roadmap. So I think that the roadmap is hugely important because using that you can empower and uplift the whole of Africa. I think in Europe we have very little idea of how big Africa is, and I think the reason for that is that the way they draw the maps, Africa has always got to be smaller than Europe, where it's huge, 54 countries, and there might be more if you take it along lines of groups of people and how they function in communities. So with the roadmap, how do you then implement with actually quite a lot of obstacles? And you've heard both Prof. Bakri and Prof. Allen talk about electricity and how really, if you are going to make a difference with both with higher education And it doesn't need to be higher education in the way we think of it. It needs to have an Africa voice.
Africa was in our heart and minds about what we're doing things. Number two, which is very important, we didn't start this journey from the UK or from the US or from other parts of the developed world, although we are very much close to Africa, but we started this journey with Africans, indigenous Africa from inside Africa. Again, I'm not going to mention lots of names, but we have our colleague from Sudan, from South Africa. Just remember one, because one of the founding members from South Africa, Professor Lainetti Louis, she used to be at the University of Port Elizabeth, then now it became Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. She moved again, but all this journey, she was giving us a voice as an example from Africa, from University of Abadan, from Sudan, from Egypt, Cairo University. There's so many people. From Zimbabwe, I remember we work very closely with the African Capacity Building Foundation, which I can see that the Association of African Universities is also one of their key partners. And we have people from Sierra Leone, they work with us. We have people from Uganda. I am very proud to say we have a very strong entire school, as an example. Now, working very closely, they publish with us, they review papers, they contribute to conference. I'm just giving them an example, Makerere University in Uganda. This is an entire school now, headed by Professor Joseph Natai. They are working very closely with WSD in all fronts. When we have a discussion on COVID, they brought their expert entrepreneurship. So they enrich even the publications and the review of the journal. So imagine a whole school. In Sudan, we have worked with lots of institutions, including universities, and I will just mention one here. Dr. Sarah Saad, for example, from the National Research Center. She's been doing lots of work on climate change, desertification, and so on and so on. And we've been very close with Africa. We consult them. And what we have been doing now, and which I'm very pleased, we're going to carry this work with the Association of African University. We have put all this thinking behind our designing this platform to connect all African universities together.